Okay, so I'm going to try not to laugh here. I just spent like the last 2 minutes laughing straight up because I'm going to be talking about and reviewing the movie No Strings Attached. And I couldn't stop laughing because the title of like these contemporary romantic comedies are so ridiculous, and I can't help like every time I hear them, just bask in their absurdity. I was thinking of No Strings Attached, which is just ridiculous, and going going the distance was another one, and I don't even they give the movies these titles that are supposed to be sort of clever puns on the romantic genre or the rom-com or something, and I don't really know what they're thinking. I don't know if the writers just like sit in their corner sulking trying to be clever with their titles or something, but it's not working. Actually, I laughed more at the title of the movie than I did throughout the entire running time. So basically, before I start going on another laughing fit, this movie stars Natalie Portman and uh, what's his name? Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher. And it's directed by Ivan Reitman, who did Ghostbusters and several other much better films. So, in a nutshell, this movie is about the two leading characters, Portman and Kutcher, who decide that they're going to have a buddy sex relationship where they only engage in intimate relations and do not actually enter into a relationship with one another. And the film is just about their trials and tribulations in attempting to maintain their buddy sex partnership without actually becoming romantically involved. So you're probably wondering like why I actually watched this movie, right? And I was wondering that myself. I'm not quite sure, and probably I'm digging a hole for myself in terms of respectability by admitting that I actually watched this movie. But there have been some redeeming films in the romantic comedy genre as of late. There was Knocked Up, which I actually thoroughly enjoyed, and then there was She's Out of My League, which is another terrible title, but the movie itself wasn't bad. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't great or anything, but it's probably worth watching. Anyway, this movie, let's see. I don't really recommend watching it unless you're a huge fan of the romantic comedy genre. If you are, you'll probably like it because it's essentially just as formulaic as any other romantic comedy film that's come out. That's come out in the last several years. Now, there were a few interesting moments in this movie. I thought there were a few funny instances, but almost all of them had to do with the supporting characters. So there was like an Indian girl who was Natalie Portman's friend, and then there was Kutcher's friend who was actually kind of funny too. But they don't get that much screen time, so most of the laughs, because they were confined within those supporting roles, there weren't really that many laughs in general. And there were actually several, I thought, Apatow-esque scenes involving the supporting characters, and that's what happens in a lot of Apatow films in general. You have supporting characters who end up actually having the funniest scenes in the film, whereas the leads are just kind of they're just there and so forth. And this was kind of similar to that. Like I thought that Portman did a good job of playing the role. I thought that it was very believable, but at the same time, the character that she was playing, at least to me, was very unlikable. She was just very cold and just in general, she did not have many redeeming qualities in my opinion. I mean, of course, she's attractive, but beyond that, I mean, I would imagine that I would get tired of her very quickly with her negative Nancy attitude and so forth. Kutcher, I don't dislike Kutcher as much as a lot of people do, but I wouldn't put him near the top of my list of favorite actors of all time. In fact, he would be near the bottom. But that's not to say that there's no redeeming instances with Kutcher at all because I don't know, he's funny occasionally. Okay, Now you may hold that against me in saying that, but I find that he has been funny before. Okay, let me just say that. Butterfly Effect was terrible. Some people like that movie, but he should not do drama. I will say that. Beyond that, I'm going to end up giving the movie 2.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't terrible in terms of being a romantic comedy. I mean, if that's what you're looking for, you'll probably like the movie because it ends. I'm not going to talk about the ending, but I mean, it's a happy ending, and I don't know. I don't know if I want to talk about the movie anymore. I'm just going to say that I don't recommend watching it, and you know, don't think less of me for reviewing and watching this movie. That's all I have to say.